Welcome back. This is chapter 113 of Basic Hypnosis, Identifying Your Subjects. In this chapter, we'll be looking at the questions: what is a bad subject? What is a good subject? What is a refractory subject? What is a skeptic? What are the 4 types of response, or the speed of response for each person? Who cannot be hypnotized? How do you respond to someone who says, I can't be hypnotized? And how do you teach hypnosis to a non-responsive person who claims to want to learn hypnosis? You cannot hypnotize people below the age of 5, the insane or the senile, because none of them have sufficient attention span. Sometimes a person who's dealing with being out of touch with reality, or insane as we call it, may have moments of lucidity where they have sufficient attention span. Some children have longer attention spans. All normal people have an ability to respond to hypnosis. If you can count from 5 to 1 backwards, you are of sufficient attention to experience the hypnotic state. The person has to be free from fear of hypnosis or the process. Repeated exposure to enjoyable experiences of relaxation will improve the response to suggestion. Some people will jump right into the unknown, eager. Some people want to test the water before they're wading in. Each person will respond appropriately in the correct manner at that moment, and that will change based upon their experiences, the environment around them, and their willingness to enter into the state. Self-trust is a critical part of this. Once you experience the hypnotic pleasures of enhanced relaxation, hypnosis tends to be viewed as a desirable thing to do. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. You can learn how to do hypnosis in 5 minutes. It's just a matter of identifying this natural process of learning and growth, and you've already used it many times. Anyone can learn to hypnotize someone else and identify the signs that indicate a person is entering into trance. The successful process includes the person wants to be hypnotized. So as a hypnotist, you're not hypnotizing other people. You're going to teach them methods for hypnotizing themselves. Your job as a hypnotist is to help a person gain greater understanding and competence with these natural powers. It's already within that person's grasp, and they just haven't learned how to use it fully, so they can access it and utilize it deliberately to achieve their goals. The tools that you will use are your voice, your presence, your words, your inflection, your touch, your timing. But unless you have willingness from the subject, all attempts for hypnosis will fail. The hypnotist is not hypnotizing the other person. The hypnotist is a living tool, here to remind a person about their own natural, innate capacities. Your job as a hypnotist is to inspire and build anticipation, expectation, to demonstrate a state of relaxed, alert, calm, being fully present. And here's an important part: be authentic, be genuine, be yourself. As a person practices authentic awareness, the client has mirror neurons that fire back and reflect if that person is interested, engaging. The person being hypnotized has complete control of the session, whether they enter, whether they exit, when they exit. The quality of the relationship between the hypnotist and the person being hypnotized determines the quality of response. A person may find a rapid rapport. It may be immediate, or it may take several sessions to require the quality of response we are seeking. Sometimes we change hypnotists. I've had times in class where I noticed a person was not responding well to my suggestions, and I asked for a student to please take over. Sometimes a change in the hypnotic voice and the person is necessary for deepening and establishing rapport. The most common response is that each and every time a person practices this, that their hypnotic quality will improve. The person will report increased feelings of well-being, perhaps increased depth. There are plateaus that come with the experience of hypnosis, just as there are plateaus in any practice, whether it be sports, playing an instrument, dancing, practice. We practice until we get really good at something, and then maybe we plateau and feel like, I'm stuck, I'm not getting any further. That's okay, take a break. You will develop plateaus, peaks, and depths as you practice hypnosis that change over time. When you are a stage hypnotist, you have the leisure of picking your subjects from the audience. The clinical practitioner has to take whatever comes in the door or whatever they are targeting as their ideal client. When you're working with a group, you're going to winnow out the less responsive subjects and not use them for demonstration subjects. A person who's a rapid person entering trance and has a lot of emotional catharsis going on is not going to be the person you want to have on stage for a stage demonstration, seeking only entertainment value. During the pre-talk, you get to find out if your subject is good or refractory. When I say good or refractory, a good subject is someone who responds quickly to suggestions, very creative. A refractory subject is more logical and analytical. As you are assessing if a person's a refractory subject or a good subject, it's helping you determine, am I going to use a permissive strategy, which you're going to use with a refractory subject, or an authoritative approach, which can be used with the good subject who responds quickly to any suggestions. For those people who can't respond with attention for any long period of time, you want to use quick authoritarian inductions. So what's a good subject? They're creative, artistic, spontaneous. Oh, so easy to work with. What a pleasure. The more intuitive, creative individuals tend to respond faster to direct suggestions. People who imagine or pretend are easier to work with than the person who's trying to figure out the right answer or the logical response to what's going on. People who are accustomed to doing boring jobs or taking orders or following instructions, these tend to be good subjects. Lower ranking military personnel are generally good subjects. The higher the rank increases, the higher the authority a person has, the more the person tends to become refractory or logical, figuring out what it is that they're wanting to achieve. A good subject will say the first thing that comes to mind when asked a question. They're imaginative, passionate, impressionable, sensitive, spontaneous, willing to express an experience. Good subjects can respond to both authoritative and permissive techniques. Refractory subjects. Well, these are the logical people. Logical, analytical, scientific. They're used to being in control. Perhaps they're fearing the unknown and reject direct suggestions or direct challenges because they don't want to be out of control. They certainly don't want to be under someone else's control. So the logical or analytical person will respond best to permissive techniques. This class is about direct suggestion and mostly authoritative techniques. So who are the refractory subjects? Doctors, lawyers, high-ranking military, mathematicians, people who have been taught to think things through logically do not want to let go of the refractory mind, the logical mind. They may not be so easy to get to play along because they're trying to figure out what you really want or what the right response is supposed to be, instead of just experiencing the moment and trusting their own intuitions and impressions. There are no such thing as bad subjects. There are good subjects, there are refractory subjects, and there are incompetent hypnotists who have not yet learned how to engage a person's mind. And then there are subjects that don't want to be hypnotized right now. They're not a bad subject, they just don't want it. And you can't make people do what they don't want to do. Some people do have insufficient attention span, and their fear or mistrust makes it difficult to engage in a relaxed manner. What you'll want to do is create a recording and have that person take it home or receive it through their whatever, email or WhatsApp, and practice so that they start the process of learning how to engage with their own bodies inside, not based upon what I'm wanting them to do, but based upon what they are wanting to do. Skeptics. I love skeptics. These are some of the best subjects because true skepticism suspends belief and disbelief and stands before the phenomena with fresh eyes. That person's ready to comprehend and perceive what is being revealed to them. A skeptic is a true scientist. Now, there's a difference between a skeptic and a rationalist. A rationalist may put aside experiences as, oh, that's just a coincidence, or it's odd because it doesn't meet my preconceived notions. They might consider the suggestions to be irrelevant, particularly if it challenges their strongly held beliefs or values. An economic rationalist will try and justify everything based upon the profits and the revenue streams. Sometimes people are counter advocates and they try to disguise themselves with a claim of being a skeptic. One of my favorite stories about skepticism was a young medical person who was doing rotations in and out of a clinic I was working with in Key West. The president of the County Medical Association would tell his young interns, pick out a pain management person and go see Monica. And learn how to use suggestion to improve your bedside manner and to improve pain reduction with less drugs. A young doctor came in and said, I'm a skeptic. And I said, excellent, skeptics are my favorites. So I look at the client that they have brought for me. Have I ever seen you before? And the person's patient says, no, I've never seen you before. Okay, what's your pain level at right now? From 0, no pain, to 10, big pain. And the person said they were at an 8 or a 9. And half an hour later, their pain level was at 0. Yeah, maybe it was less time. I looked to the young doctor and said, so what did you think of what you just saw? And the person said, I don't believe it. Well, then you're not a skeptic. You're a counter advocate who came in pretending to grab moral high ground with skepticism when really you came in not believing that it's possible to get rid of pain with direct suggestions or with uncovering. Once a person claims moral high ground as a skeptic and proves they are a counter advocate, then I enjoy pointing out to them that they cannot have moral high ground as a skeptic if they ignore what they just observed with their own eyes. Then they are some kind of rationalist who's a counter advocate who wants to reject everything that they just saw. So skeptics, they're the best. Counter advocates disguised as skeptics, they're trying to grab moral high ground to say that you're wrong and I'm right. No, that's advocacy and counter advocacy, and that's where we engage in intellectual discourse to challenge misconceptions. There are many misconceptions about hypnosis. Hypnosis is a natural state. But at this point in your hypnosis education, you're probably not ready to argue about hypnosis until you're competent with your skills and can identify specific misconceptions that you know the facts about and can debunk all the false information. What's the speed of response? You'll hear me talk about this regularly. 30, 30, 30, 10. 10% of the people I can't help. They're not motivated to get it right now. And it's just right now I can't help them. 30% of the people stop and start and stop and start and stop and start, and they take a long time. 30% of the people get their resolutions in 2 to 6 sessions, and 30% of the people get their resolutions in 1 session. So the 30% that are immediate are highly motivated. The people that are a little bit slower, the 30% that take 2 to 6 sessions, they need to run into the little things, glitches that have slowed down their process of change. The very slow responders, the stubborn, the opinionated, the one they have it their way, I ask them, are you the eager person that's eager to get things done? When a person's asking me, can you guarantee I'll get all my benefits in 1 session? Like, no, I don't guarantee your behavior. I can barely guarantee my own. Are you the kind of person that normally changes quickly? Oh, well, no, I'm not. Then why would you expect that coming to see me, you're going to change in 1 session? You may, and I look forward to that. You may not, and I look forward to that too. You get to teach me how quickly you respond to suggestion. And then 10%, I cannot help at this time. They're not willing or able to make the change at this time. Hysteria. Hysterical people can laugh or cry and have intense emotions known as abreaction very quickly. The hysterics are not generally a part of what we're targeting with our clientele with basic direct suggestions. When you encounter a client who is experiencing hysteria, it may be you need to refer that person to a different hypnotist or perhaps a psychologist or a psychiatrist. So what happens when a person fails to respond to suggestion? Maybe they're uncomfortable. Maybe they got something in mind and they're trying too hard. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they don't trust you. Some people don't like the word hypnosis, and you might want to substitute a word like relaxation. Doctors can refer for medical relaxation. A dentist can refer for dental relaxation. Fear is the primary thing that prevents a person from entering trance. And it could be at a conscious or a subconscious level. So you might want to ask, is there any tension in your body? If yes, you want to ask the person, what's going on? What's bothering you? Perhaps use breathing to relax that part. Breathe into the part that's too tight. Breathe out the tension. For a person who's having difficulties entering trance, create a recording or have a recording available you can send that person home with. Recommend some reading. Charles Tebbets has a really great book, Self-Hypnosis and Other Mind-Expanding Techniques. Hypnosis for Change, Lacron, oh, no, it's not Lacron and Bordeaux. Hadley and Staudacher, Hypnosis for Change. Marvelous self-hypnosis books. You can ask a person, what do you think is holding you back from relaxing at this time? What's bugging you? What's going on inside? One of the wonderful direct suggestions you can give, a post-hypnotic suggestion, each and every time you practice hypnosis, you go deeper and faster than the time before. Each and every time you enter the state, you create more and more awareness of the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious minds. You can give the logical mind something to do to distract it. Mental exercise 1. Draw the letter A on the blackboard of your mind. Go ahead, close your beautiful eyes now. Draw the letter A on the blackboard of your mind. And then draw a circle around it. And then erase it and go on to the next letter of the alphabet. You can do this through the entire alphabet until the person decides it's just too much work and they don't want to do it anymore. And at that point, we've bypassed logic and gotten into imagination. Breathing deep and easy, allowing your eyes to remain closed. Draw a large circle on the blackboard of your mind. Then draw a large square. Then draw a large triangle. Then starting with the circle, trace the circle 3 times to the right, And 3 times to the left. Each and every time you practice and succeed with this exercise, allow the eyes to open and close so that I know you've got it. And we'll continue on and you'll go deeper into relaxation. Then go to the square. Trace it 3 times to the right. And 3 times to the left. And when you've completed that, allow the eyes to open and close so that I know that you're ready to go deeper. And then go to the triangle and trace it 3 times to the right. And 3 times to the left. And while you're doing this, the words I say won't bother or disturb you in any way. Focus on the task at hand. And when you're finished tracing those geometric forms, erase them in reverse order. And let them slide back down into the unconscious, easily, calmly, and gently, taking all the ideas and goals you're about to hear into your powerfully relaxed, unconscious mind to function as automatically as you breathe, as easily and automatically as your blood flows through your body, as easily and automatically as something you learned when you were very young that you continue to use automatically today, like tying a shoe or brushing your teeth, you know. And you know that you know, and you're smart. Trust yourself. Now notice, what are you really here for today? And I'll be silent for 20 seconds while you hear your unconscious mind telling you what you're really here for today. And when you're finished tracing those geometric forms and erasing them in reverse order, letting them slide back down at the unconscious, calm, easily, gently, beautifully, starting with the triangle, erasing it 3 times to the left and then 3 times to the right. And then go to the square, erase it 3 times to the left and 3 times to the right. And then go to the circle, erasing it 3 times to the left and 3 times to the right. And when you're ready, something wonderful, something you haven't remembered in a long time, something beneficial from today will flow up from your unconscious mind, from the warehouse of learning of what works, what doesn't work, what you want or need that you haven't gotten yet. And when you're ready, you come all the way back to full waking state and you tell me about your experiences and notice how funny it is to be remembering to forget to tell me the things you don't need to remember because they work just fine and automatically. It's so great how that works, and you might find yourself chuckling or smiling about how humorous it is and the amount of things that you do automatically without having to think about it. I wonder how surprised you will be when you notice in retrospect that you have automatically done positive things. Allow these things to occur, accepted the positive things you expressed as hopes and dreams to come into your life. I wonder how pleasing the sense of appreciation for self will flow through your body, that lovely sense of appreciation and gratitude for the strength, kindness, and willingness that unfolds in your life and generalizes into a contagious kind of thing that shares itself automatically in positive ways with yourself and others. And then when you're ready, open your beautiful eyes. Perhaps you would like to pause this recording, pull up chapter 119, get out the independent study and look on that list of signs of trance and mark off the ones that you just experienced. Okay? Welcome back. Let's do another exercise. When you're ready, allow your beautiful eyes to close and imagine a blackboard. Imagine the chalk. Imagine that you are writing the number 100 on the chalkboard. And say the number out loud and draw a circle around it. Then imagine erasing it. Count down from 100, and with each number, say the number out loud. Draw it on the blackboard, draw a circle around it, erase it, and then allow your eyes to open and close. Every time the eyes open, you reassure yourself that all is well in the outside world and you are safe. to continue to go deeper, deeper, deeper into the knowing. Every time the eyes close, you go deeper and deeper into the relaxed state of self-awareness known as hypnosis. Trust yourself completely. And count out loud, starting with 100. Eyes opening and closing after it's erased. And then 99. Imagine that you're drawing or seeing the number drawn on a chalkboard, a circle being drawn around it, and then erasing the number in the circle. And then allow the eyes to open and close. 98. Imagine you're drawing or seeing the number drawn on a chalkboard, a circle being drawn around it, and then erasing the number in the circle. Do this until all the numbers fade away and it's just too much effort to do. And you can just forget all about it and relax. All background sounds reassure you all is well in the outside world. The most important thing is the sound of your breathing and the sound of my voice guiding you deeper, deeper into the knowing. Rest deep and easy. Notice when you hesitate. Notice if you're speaking the number and your voice is getting softer. Listen for the pauses. Notice the skin tone if you're working with someone else. Notice the eyes as they open and close. And when a person begins to hesitate on the words or the eyes have difficulty opening, you just say, forget all about that now. Just rest deep and easy. As I take your hand and lift it, allow that hand to be loose and limp as a loose, limp rubber band or a wet dish rag. Imagine I am grasping your thumb and lifting the hand and arm, giving it a jiggle to determine the level of relaxation. And then as I drop the hand, let it drop at the pop to your lap. And go deeper into relaxation. Imagine how good you feel and who's doing this to you. Now, me, I'm not your mind. You are doing this to yourself. Your mind is the most wonderful tool you own. Trust yourself completely. And if those numbers are still moving through your mind, the harder you try, the harder it gets. If you get all the way to 0 and your mind is out of control because you've not yet learned to control it enough to relax it when I ask you to, it's time to practice relaxation. And when you're ready, I will count from 5 to 1. Have you return to full awareness and notice how good you feel, better than you felt in some time. Number 5, slowly, gently, easily returning to full awareness. Number 4, feeling wonderfully good all over, better than you felt in some time. Number 3, a refreshed feeling of well-being throughout every muscle, cell, tissue, and fiber of your being. Number 2, feel as if the eyes have bathed in fresh spring water, refreshed, rejuvenated, and revitalized. Number 1, feeling wonderfully good all over, eyes open. Take a good deep breath and stretch, and good, and excellent. And now, pause this recording and look at the chapter 119, the signs of hypnosis, and mark off the signs of hypnosis you've experienced today. Welcome back. The questions for this chapter. What is a bad subject? There's no such thing as a bad subject. What is a good subject? You know, they're easy to work with. What is a refractory subject? Logical, analytical person. What is a true skeptic? Someone who suspends belief and disbelief to discover what is unfolding in the moment. What are the 4 types of response to suggestion? This is the speed of response. Quickly, slower, much slower, and non-responsive, 30, 30, 30, 10. Who cannot be hypnotized? the insane, the senile, and those below the age of 5, because none have an attention span. The person who does not trust cannot be hypnotized. The person in fear is already in a fear hypnosis. How do you respond to someone who says, well, I can't be hypnotized? Well, that may be so. There are 3 types of people who cannot be hypnotized. I usually pause that. I give 10, 15 seconds and I say, do you want to know what they are? The insane, the senile, and those below the age of 5. None of them have sufficient attention span to count from 5 to 1 backwards. Generally, the more intelligent the person, the easier they find it to respond to suggestion and experience the pleasurable relaxation of hypnosis. Now, how do you teach a hypnosis to a non-responsive person who claims to want to learn hypnosis? Give that person a progressive relaxation recording and an exercise for a week, at least once a day. From the top of the head to the tips of the toes, from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, and then come back and report what that person learned. This is a method of repetition, which demonstrates the person is motivated and genuine about wanting to improve self-awareness and self-regulation. Thank you for your time today. That concludes chapter 113 in the 3rd day of basic hypnosis training. May you have a blessed and wonderful day. And it's a beautiful day in paradise. I'm about to go out and enjoy it.